Hi friends, it's Helen and welcome back to another episode of Mental Health Monday. Today's topic is going to be all about my experiences with antidepressants, and I'll also be talking about like the other medicines that I take or have taken, and also going to just be talking a little bit about like my advice and tips for them and just kind of like my overall experience. So here's a couple of little disclaimers before we start. So the first one is I am not a medical I'm not a medical professional or even remotely good at anything. So keep that in mind. Anything that I know or learned, it's either from Google or like a pharmacology book that I read for fun. So it's kind of just my interpretation of it, so just keep that in mind. Second disclaimer is just because a medicine didn't work for me doesn't mean it won't work for you, and just because it worked for me doesn't mean it won't work for you. Doesn't mean, yeah, you know what I mean. Everyone reacts to medication differently, and you should definitely like talk to your doctor or therapist or psychiatrist or whoever to like talk to them about what they think would be best for you. So, and then the third disclaimer is I'm sorry for the awkward angle and maybe like the lighting's not like that weird, but it's kind of weird. I tried filming outside like 5 times and I just kept getting interrupted by bees and garbage trucks. So we are inside on this delightful sunny day. So with that being said, let's start. So I started taking medicine about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, and I was put on Zoloft, 50 milligrams, and I took that for like 5 or 6 months. But my dose got upped from 50 to 75 and then from 75 to 100. And it did a good job at first. I was like, it made all of my anxiety like go away. Like I couldn't have a panic attack, like even if I tried. So that was pretty cool. And then after a little while, like maybe like a month or so of being on the 50 milligram dose, I noticed that like my depression was like getting really bad, like worse than I ever thought it was, like worse than what I started with. So I didn't really know what to do, so I like told my psychiatrist and we agreed to maybe up the dosage, and I was like, that was fine with me because granted I don't really know anything about medicine at that point, so I was like, okay, yeah, like, so you know, it would help and then the depression would like still be pretty bad. We upped the dosage again to 100, and it was like that for like 2 months, and that was kind of like my last straw with it, because I was just kind of the Zoloft made me feel suicidal, like not to the fact where I would just have suicidal thoughts. Like if I was gonna have those, like I was gonna have those regardless. Like I didn't need the medication to make me have those. But the Zoloft would just put me in that like that mental state where I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like, I don't care. If I die, I die. Like, I don't really care. I was just indifferent, and I kind of was like, whatever about it. I would like, anytime I was like in a situation where I like could have been put in, like my life could have been put in danger, I was like, kind of like, whatever. Like, if it happens, it happens. Like, not my problem. I'm ready to go. So that was pretty scary, and like when you know if you have like stuff going on like that, like the mental health stuff, that everyone has their good days and their bad days. So the good days wouldn't even be considered good days. They would just be like, why am I like this? Why do I want to die? I've never wanted that before. Like, now do I finally, like, of all times, do I think this is, like, a brilliant idea? So, and then, like, the bad days, like, would feel even worse. So I would be like, okay, well, let it happen. I'm ready to go. So the next appointment I make to my my psychiatrist, I'm like, I want to switch antidepressants because I'm like feeling real suicidal, and I don't want it anymore. So we agreed to switch to Effexor, and I started at 75 milligrams of it, and I've been on that since October. So the first few days that I was taking the Effexor, I felt really sick. If I remember correctly, I left work early, which I don't like leaving work early. So to me that was kind of like bad, but I was like really sick. I remember I didn't really eat a lot, and I think I lost like 5 pounds or something like that. Which, if anyone like kind of knows me in real life, like I'm like 110 pounds to like begin with, so like losing 5 pounds is like kind of an obvious thing. So, but that's just me. So then I'm like, notice that I'm starting to get better. Like the Effexor's working, but I'm like not 100% like better. Like I still feel like I have like the bad days, but the good days feel a little bit better. And I noticed, oh look, the clock's going. We'll just let that go. Well, no. Coffee break. Okay, so getting back to it, but like if here was my baseline for normal mood, the Effexor 75 brought me to like here. So I was here, normal, my normal was here. So I go back to the doctor like a month later or so, and I was like, yeah, it's like I explained to him like my moods, and he was like, okay, well, we'll keep you on the 75 for another month, and we'll see what happens. And I was like, okay, because I know that like antidepressants they can kind of take a while to kick in, like fully. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So another month goes by, and my moods are kind of like, if again, here's my normal, here's where I was. So I go back and I was like, yeah, it's still kind of there, like, it's whatever though. And so I got bumped up to Effexor 150 milligrams, and I've been on that since I think December or January. I don't really remember which one, but it's been a few months. And I can say that the 150 has definitely helped boost my mood. Like if, again, here's my normal, I think the 75 brought me to here. I think the 150 brought me like maybe to here. And on my good days, I'm like either at normal or like a little tiny bit above. So I think that's a really good thing. I don't feel suicidal anymore. Or like if I've ever had negative thoughts, I don't even think about like acting on them or anything. So I can really say that the Effexor has really helped, and it makes me feel like a lot better. Like I honestly feel like a new person. It's just a wonderful feeling. So Effexor for 150 is my like kind of saving grace for medication. And I'm happy, and I guess kind of lucky that on the second round of trying different medicine, like I found the one that worked for me. And that's kind of all I have to say about my experiences with it. I can talk about some side effects. So I was sick for the first 3 days, and the only real thing that I've noticed with the Effexor is it's hard for me to like have an appetite, and I really won't feel like eating. But again, that's something that you can kind of get used to, and like not force yourself to eat, but like be better about like meal planning and stuff, and knowing that like, no, you're not just not hungry, like it's the medicine. But other than that, everything is just kind of really great with it. Like I'll show you my Effexor pill. It's like a horse pill kind of. So here's what it looks like. Has this right here. And here is kind of like a size reference. It's like the first little section of my like index finger. That's how big it is. And I already took my dosage for the day. So yeah. Another thing with the Effexor that I've noticed is it didn't totally like erase my anxiety like the Zoloft did, but I'm on different medicines for my anxiety as opposed to like the depression, even though they like kind of help, and they like help each other out. So that's a good thing. I guess I'll talk a little bit about my other medicines right now. So my first other medicine that I am taking is a beta blocker. And so it's propranolol or Inderol, and I take 20 milligrams of it 3 times a day. So a beta blocker is, from my understanding, it slows your heart rate down, because I guess like especially when I was very, very anxious, my heart rate would be really, really, really fast. And so my psychiatrist put me on it to help slow that down. And I think it's probably also like a preventative thing, because you know heart disease like kind of runs in my family, and like they know that. So it's it works. Like I'll feel my heart rate like go from like really fast to like a more normal-ish pulse rate, I guess. So no complaints there. When I first started taking it, it made me sleepy because my heart rate slowed down, and I was like, oh, I'm tired. But yeah, no complaints about that. My second medicine that I'm on is Xanax 0.5 milligrams, and that's once a day as needed. I'm going to make a separate video about Xanax because I think it deserves its own video, because it's like a lot of people know it as like a recreational drug. And I've been taking it for like a while. So I understand the appeal of it being like recreational, but like it really helps with anxiety. Like when I'm having a panic attack, I'll take one, and then I can feel myself like mellow out. So it also, like, when I first got prescribed it was to help me sleep, because I was like not sleeping. So that also really, it's good for that too. So, but I'll make a separate video talking about my like feelings on Xanax, because I think for when you use it as directed, it's wonderful, but using it recreationally, which I've done a little bit of, so not a hypocrite that much. I've used it a little bit recreationally, and it's very effective at what it does. So just take it as directed. That's all I'm going to say about it for now. Other medications that I've taken, I've been prescribed Doxepin for sleep, and I don't really like it that much, just kind of because it would like knock me out. So if I had to wake up for work, I would have to go to sleep like 12 hours before I was supposed to like wake up. But it did a really good job of like helping me sleep. So that's a good thing. The second medication drug that I've taken for sleep was Ambien. And I took the Ambien before the Doxepin, and it's all been prescribed, so. And the Ambien worked. It really made me only sleep for like 7 to 8 hours, which is something I wasn't used to. Like, when I sleep for like 10 to 12 hours at a time. Like, just what I do. So, having my sleep kind of regulated was pretty weird. It worked at first, and I would fall asleep in like 30 minutes. And then it started taking like a little bit longer, and then I would wake up in the middle of the night sometimes. So I told my doctor that I didn't like it, so I stopped taking it. One time I hallucinated on Ambien, taking it, before bed as prescribed. And that was a terrifying experience, and I don't really understand the appeal of doing it recreationally. Sorry. Like, maybe just because my hallucination was a terrifying experience, but I know that people use it recreationally for hallucinations, but I just personally didn't see the appeal. If you did, I'm not telling you how to live your life, but I'm just talking about my experiences. So yeah, another thing, I guess, since I've been talking about medication this whole time, is there's some people that are, like, against medication, and that's totally fine. Like, I don't think a medication is, like, a one-size-fits-all type of thing. I think there's a lot of different kinds. You kind of have to be a little bit patient in order to find one that works for you. Like, it could take a few months. It could maybe take a couple years. I don't really know. But there's a lot of different, like, drug classes for the medications. So that's also something, like, to look into. Don't over-research everything, because every one of them will sound like a good idea. And then you'll be like, oh, I want to be on this. And then you read all the side effects, and it's like, never mind. And then you'll go to the next one. So it's something you should really talk to your doctor about. I think it's kind of their call. So if you don't want to be put on medication, I think it's something you should talk to, and then your doctor can help you with coping mechanisms and stuff. So, which, I've kind of done a little bit of both, like, learning, like, the coping strategies, like the deep breathing and, like, going on walks, or just kind of immersing myself in, like, hobbies. And I've also taken, like, the medicine. I still take medications for it. It's all, like, everyone is different, so it's like a personal balance. But I guess my main thing is don't self-medicate, because you can overdose. Overdosing can lead to, like, death or hospital visits, or just you could realize you might be allergic to something if you take it in high quantities. I don't know how true that is, but there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So don't self-medicate. Take things as prescribed, and I don't know, just be safe about it. And if, for example, like, if you're going to take your Xanax or whatever, like, when I take my Xanax, when I'm panicking, like, I won't drive until, like, the next day or a really long time later after it's worn off. Like, just be safe about it, because you only got one life, so make it count. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was a little bit helpful, a little bit insightful. Hope it gave you some information. I hope you enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys next Monday for the next episode of Mental Health Monday. So be sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we can all end the stigma together. Have a good week. Stay safe. Bye, guys.